Okay, gang, we're going to go over the journey of Mars. Mars just transited into Scorpio on the 3rd of January. And I think that as I take you on the journey that Mars is going to take, you'll be able to start to piece together and understand how this works. And we'll be exploring the other planets at different times. But right now we're just going to focus on Mars because, quite frankly, it just transited into Scorpio. It was our first transit of the year. So I'm going to try to hold this up to the calendar and use my pointer. Couldn't find my... Oh, there's my porcupine quill. Thought my kid had lost it, but I put it away where it belongs. All right, here we go. All right, so this is the beginning of the year. This right here tells you where we started, where each of the planets started the year off, okay? So it doesn't move, they moved into those that day. They didn't all move. That's just where they're starting for the year. So the first planet to make a transit is Mars. Mars was in Libra at the beginning of the year, and on the third day in the morning, Mars moved into Scorpio. Mars, see that little icon? The key to that is down here, and here we are with Scorpio. So Mars is our planet of conflict, aggression, and action, and Scorpio is the constellation of creation, also destruction, super intense sign. You can read up about those independently. I'm just going to show you the journey that they're going to be taking because it's a very interesting one. So Mars goes into Scorpio here, and then we follow the trajectory, and the next thing that happens is that Mars moves into Sagittarius. That's the next sign in the zodiac. Okay, it moves into Sagittarius just before the solar eclipse and a new moon, so that is of note. And Mars is in Sagittarius through the solar eclipse, the equinox, the lunar eclipse, and all the way down into April, about mid-April, when it does this dotted line thing. What is the dotted line thing? That is a retrograde. Retrogrades mean time to review, time to get things done, right? Okay. So it's in retrograde, which means that it's moving, it looks like it's moving backwards from where we're on Earth. So when a planet is going retrograde, that means that instead of moving towards the next zodiac sign, which Scorpio moved into Sagittarius, and it should be going to Capricorn next, right? But oh no, retrograde means it's heading back to Scorpio. So we come down here, and it's in retrograde. Now I want you to notice that it's in retrograde while 1, 2, 3 other planets, and then Mercury joins for a little while. So it goes retrograde when we're having just a total, everything's going backwards kind of situation. So that is an interesting thing. So it goes retrograde, it moves back towards Scorpio until it finally actually, move my shadow here, it actually enters Scorpio right here in May, at the very end of May, okay? So we're like, all right, it's going back into Scorpio. It goes back in on May 27th. Now, if you look at the blog and right below, I've also compared it to this whole time from January all the way till May 30th. May 30th is the peak closeness. Mars is putting on a show for us in 2016. It's actually getting really big in the sky, which means that the closer something is, the more intensely you feel the impact. So Mars goes into Scorpio while it's in retrograde on the 27th, basically right at the point where we're about to hit the maximum closeness of Mars to Earth. At least that's the way it looks, right? So that's interesting news. It continues to go retrograde. It goes all the way. It's going into Scorpio. It hits Scorpio. It keeps going into Scorpio and out. So it's retrograding through Scorpio. And then finally it starts moving direct, which means it's moving still in Scorpio, but towards, because it just traveled all this way back into Scorpio. So now it has to travel the equal distance out of Scorpio. So we're in Scorpio, and then in August Look at that shadow. Sorry about that. Oh, maybe Mars in shadows. Oh. It finally goes back into Sagittarius, okay, in August on a new moon. Just note that. It's going back in. Also, 4 planets in retrograde. Mars is not in retrograde, but 4 planets are. That's curious, okay? So Mars is now in August in Sagittarius, again, for the second time this year. It goes through the solar eclipse, through the lunar eclipse, through the autumn equinox, and right after the autumn equinox, it goes into the next sign, right? So we started in Libra, quickly moved into Scorpio, then we went into Sagittarius, back into Scorpio, back into Sagittarius, and now we're in Capricorn, okay? And that is happening right after the autumn equinox. And then we keep traveling, and then we move into Aquarius, which this is happening, God, I think it's the 9th or the 8th. I don't know. It's the day after the election, the U.S. election. What I know about Aquarius is that it is a humanitarian planet. It is concerned with the well-being of all. Mars being this planet of conflict and aggression, action going into Aquarius, I'm hoping that that means the U.S. presidential election will go well. We all know what I mean when I say that. All right. And then, so you've got this Mars in Aquarius, and then it finishes the year. It goes into Pisces just before the winter solstice, and it is ends the year in winter solstice. So if you read the blog post, now that you have listened, I hope I'm not blurry. If you read the blog post, the blog post, then you will be able to see and follow it and look at your own cosmic calendar that you have. If you don't have it yet, what are you waiting for? Click on a link that says buy or something and get it, because this is really cool. And it helps you piece things together. I'm not an astrologer, but I have a deep interest in astrology. I know a lot about the planets. I know a lot about the zodiac signs. And I created this so that I could learn how to interpret it. And I'm going to dedicate this year to, I've been doing it for 4 years. And I've gotten better than I thought. But I'm still a novice, and I'm still learning, and I will probably always be learning. So, yeah, read the blog post and then give me your thoughts. Let's crowdsource some articles from astrologers who've been doing that a lot longer than both of us. See what they have to say, and then let's pay attention this year. Let's see what happens as Mars goes through these signs, spends a lot of time in both Sagittarius and Scorpio. Normally, as you can see, it moves pretty quickly. It should, if it's not going retrograde, it should be going, like every little bit here, every month or so. It should be going through a planet. But the whole first 6 months of the year, more than that, is dominated by Scorpio and Sagittarius. So half of our year, I'm so sorry, I'm not used to this. Half of our year is, Sagittarius and Scorpio and Mars, and then we get into a normal pattern again. So let's figure out what happens, okay? All right, thanks for listening.